Hello, everybody. Hello. Hmm. Look, this is not the first time this Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited management has been time and again tried to demean the 132-year-old institution due to their own ego and due to satisfying their own ego and to uh, keep alive their foster child, which has already been dead for a year now. So it okay. Yeah. So hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So I would request all of the guests to just wait patiently because there is some technical glitch. I think I am audible. So if you can comment whether I am audible or not, then we can continue with the comments and all. Uh, okay, the question from Neil to me was, what is my reaction towards this comment made by Mr. Utchap Parekh? First of all, my reaction is it's derogatory. Period. And but this is not the first time that this KGSPL or Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited management is trying to do so. Why I am telling you the word trying? Because it has a repetitive pattern on it. So from the start, from the very day of the amalgamation itself, the time and again, these Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited management has tried to bring alive their dead entity, which is dead simply. And I am telling you, it is dead because it has been disaffiliated from IFA. It has been lost. It has lost its slot. So right now, ATK is nothing more than three words only. Three words which doesn't have any impact or any meaning in itself. Okay. So but for satisfying their own ego, they are trying to bring alive this particular three set of words repetitively, and for that they have resorted to demeaning our 130-year-old organization, and which has been an institution and a pivotal part of the Indian footballing arena, if I may say so. So if I go through the entire action scenario from the day one to till the day Mr. Parekh gave that interview, you all can see a fitting pattern in it. So since the start, they tried to tell it as a new merge when ATK itself disaffiliated from IFA. They didn't remain as a club. They are just a brand name from Kolkata Games and
Mhm. Okay, just a second, Spandanda. I think there are audio issues as well with you this time. I don't know how it is malfunctioning. Just a second, guys. Am I audible? Am I audible now? Am I audible now? I don't know what happened to the sound. Am I audible right now? No, no sound. What the hell, man?
Sunil, should we go back a couple of minutes and let's take it out, take a break from it and then come back again?
I'll just check. I'll just check. Guys, are we audible? Just tell us both that if we are audible or not. Okay, my sound has come. Okay.
Okay. So, am I audible now?
Yes, I am audible. Is the guest audible? Spandanda, just have a word.
Hi guys. Am I audible?
Because I can hear because of Zoom. Guys, do tell me if the guest is audible right now. Okay.
Yeah, please comment. Please put a comment on the section.
Okay, now it's
if
fine.
I'm audible.
Now it's fine. Both are audible. All right. So
Okay,
we'll just
okay, thanks.
we'll just retrace our steps, and I'm very sorry for the technical issues. So we were talking about the comments that you said were derogatory, and we got the gist of that honestly. But let us retrace back to when the merger happened, right? When the merger actually started. So what did ATK as an entity gain from this merger?
Look, ATK have been running before coming into this merger or coming into this amalgamation, as I would like to say. ATK were running their own entity for 6 years. For the first couple of seasons, they merged with Atletico de Madrid, and their team name was Atletico de Kolkata out of that. When after the second season, Atletico de Madrid moved out of the merger, the ATK remained as an entity itself by itself, and they continued their footballing venture for the next 4 seasons. But day by day, if you see Neil, day by day, not only ATK, I would say the entire ISL, the promising scene with which it came into the picture, all of the things were fading away. But I would, because if you can easily remember, if you see the first couple of seasons, the jersey of ATK were full of the crest sponsors and sleeve sponsors and all. But if you see the 6th season, the jersey almost looked barren. Apart from an own brand of Mr. Sanjeev Goenka CSC, which was actually doing the needful for becoming main jersey sponsor.
Right.
So apart from that, from every aspect of the ISL, the sponsors were moving away due to the issue of the media rights. The entire franchisee owners were not happy. Even right now, if you see, the JSW owner is not happy with his franchisee. Delhi Dynamos and FC Pune have moved out of ISL, taken out of that franchisee. Even Northeast United and a couple of other franchisee owners are not happy with the current structure and the current media rights structure which FSDL has proposed to them until 2024. So they all are not happy with this structure. So why? Then came the situation where they needed a boost in that, and that is the reason the legacy clubs like Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, not only Mohun Bagan, not only East Bengal, they needed both of the teams into ISL, because they knew whenever these two teams will be coming, they will bring more than 1 million strong fan base with them each, and the ISL hoped that they will be gaining the lost fan base, the lost excitement out of these clubs. So that is the reason. Yeah, that was the agenda. And but out of that, what was happening? An entity from Kolkata already bought a franchisee slot. So if Mohun Bagan and East Bengal individually came into the place, do you think there would have been any space or any shelf share for the third entity, which was only 6 years old till that time? Because I don't think I don't think there would have been, because we have seen for the 6 years. I really appreciate the efforts that Mr. Goenka has put into his entity to actually run this entity, because he has provided free tickets, free merchandises, free season passes and all, everything to keep people attracted towards his entity and coming to the field. But I don't demand that. I don't mean that. He has tried everything that a newborn baby should get, the care from a parent. But right now, after amalgamating with Mohun Bagan, he needs to understand that this is a 132-year-old legacy-oriented and fan-based club. And every time you try to demean their sentiment, every time you try to hurt their emotions, you are simply losing out the support that you should be getting. And you were also expecting that support. That is the reason you came into the merger in the first place. Because if I can remember correctly, in October 2020, Mr. Goenka himself tweeted after Mr. Narendra Modi and the then Sports Minister, Mr. Kiren Rijiju, and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee congratulated Mohun Bagan on winning I-League. Then, in reply, Mr. Sanjeev Goenka himself thanked them in his Twitter handle. So he himself accepted that this was the continuation of Mohun Bagan. Otherwise, why would somebody from ATK-Mohun Bagan would be congratulating somebody who is congratulating Mohun Bagan again? So as an ATK-Mohun Bagan chairman, he addressed and he thanked to the personalities who has congratulated Mohun Bagan due to winning the I-League. And it was an unprecedented scenario, because even the last 4 games were about to be played, or it didn't happen due to the COVID protocols and all. We were already champions. We were untouchables. So the legal terms, look, now let me come into this picture of this new entity or new term. Look, legal terms like this new team and new entity are very common in Indian football, because we have seen in the erstwhile days as well, whenever East Bengal and Mohun Bagan have tied up with McDowell's, and East Bengal has tied up with Kingfisher and subsequently with Quays, this legal term has been used time and again. But the main difference is that none of these investors tried to spin that language and try to actually, they didn't try to demean. The simple thing is that they didn't try to demean. They tried to uphold the club's history, legacy, and the fans, which are an asset for these clubs. So they upheld the club's history and legacy, and they didn't try to corrupt it with their own intentions and with their own narratives.
Quite a lot of emotions and quite a lot of facts being spoken out there, but let us get into the scruff of things. Like all the movement, I've been seeing the movement has been piling on and on and on social media fronts at the moment. So I'd like to ask you this straight. I don't care if whether you are pro or anti-merger, but let us talk that if the demerger actually happens, ATK and Mohun Bagan are separate entities, what is the future for Mohun Bagan as an individual club then? Where will the investments come from? Is crowdfunding an option? Or just take us through the possibilities.
Look, I will have to state my personal view on this, because I cannot state any kind of a collaborative view on this, because it has many emotions and sentiments playing around it, right? Mm-hmm. So, what I would like to say is, before asking Mohun Bagan after the demerge where will Mohun Bagan stand, we need to seriously ask where will ATK stand. Because we have been in our 132 years legacy for 131 years, and if you cut down the 17-18 years of McDowell as well. Mm-hmm. So there is about 120 years where we have played without investment coming in from outside.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's not a question of where Mohun Bagan will survive. Mohun Bagan is definitely going to survive, because for 132 years, we have played in the optimum level of any sports that has been permitted to us.
Right.
Be it in football, we play in national level. Be it in cricket or athletics, we play in state levels, and subsequently further, even from there, people go into the national level. Mm-hmm. So players like Manoj Tiwari and everybody plays in our cricket team. So if you tell me about the question of investment, yes. If you see in 2019-20, as I already told you, the ATK t-shirt looked barren because it has no investors. As soon as Mohun Bagan came into the picture, sponsors like SBO Top, some sponsors like some TMT bars and some cements have come into the play.
Right.
So there were loads of, and TV9 Bangla. So whenever Mohun Bagan came into the play, and that's when the multimedia prime time slot were ensured, and that's when the sponsor tried to come into the play. Because look, teams like Mohun Bagan and East Bengal will not be having so much difficulty of having sponsored. The question, first of all, is whether ATK will be surviving. One, and secondly, will FSDL want us to bring in independent sponsors? Because every time, every club who is trying to bring independent investment, they are putting time and again, they are putting a different referendums and different logics out of it. Okay, they want their franchisee slots to be limited. They don't. It's a sham. It's a sham that's been going on in the name of ISL. If I may say, it's a circus that FSDL is currently running. Because if you see the currently, that is the top league currently of India.
Right.
But currently that particular league doesn't have any promotion or relegation slot. So
how is that even a league?
It's a caricature that's been run. Yeah, it's just exhibition matches that's been going on. And the roadmap that FIFA and AFC have already provided to FSDL and AIFF subsequently, that from 2024, they have to keep this an open league. And whenever some team from second division will be champions of that league, or they will be coming into the promotion slots, they will be automatically entering into the ISL.
Right.
And vice versa. The teams which won't be able to perform, the teams which will be in the later half of the league, they might get relegated. So whenever, as I have already told you and the guys who are watching me, I have seen it time and again, whenever things have started looking better, because we the people from Mohun Bagan, we look out for doing a better team, playing a better game, and winning loads of trophies. So this is nothing new for us. So always, even if we come second in a certain tournament, that is not considered as a success for us. Because we have seen so many.
Because of the nature of the tournament, or because of our legacy? Which one?
Because of our legacy. Because we have seen too many silverwares in our 132 years. Even if we come second in a certain tournament, that is not considered as the success for our club. We only consider success until we win a tournament.
Right.
So this comment that Mr. Parekh made, that he has already trying to take us into the greater heights, first of all, he needs to understand the meaning of height.
That is some open-ended humor over there. Okay, all right. I've been keeping a close eye on the vote that has been happening on the chat section. It says, I asked that, do you want the merger to be dissolved? 62% of you say yes, 38% of you say no. Now I'm interested about this 38% of people around out of whatever has voted. So what is your thinking? Somewhat, let's try to keep that into perspective as well, Spandanda. Going back to my previous question, suppose Mohun Bagan and ATK are demerged. They are separate entities. I'm not bothered about what happens to ATK because I love my club. I am for and only for Mohun Bagan and the development of Mohun Bagan. Suppose it is just Mohun Bagan Football Club or athletic club, already what it is right now. Is there a possibility of running this club in a crowdfunding situation like what we talked about in the proposed Bundesliga schemes, in a 51% fans ownership model? Is it possible in this country? Will all the people who are protesting over here will come forward and help the club to grow? With let's keep in mind, before you answer, let's keep in mind the huge amount of investment that ATK is going to want back without interest. I don't know if that is a case. The licensing fee, making a team, we know all what Mr. Tutu Boshu has done for the team. So is it possible in this economy, especially in this economy post COVID, is it possible, or is it just a figment of our imagination?
No, Neil, I would say it's possible. It's my personal view. It's absolutely my personal view, and I am taking the full responsibility of this comment, because I don't feel it is difficult if our club comes forward and asks for, even if I say, for just for the sake of argument, you say the club asks 10,000 rupees from 1 lakh supporters around the world. It is nothing difficult to bring about 100 crores into the scene. It is it is it is not an easy task. Like I am saying, it is always easier said than done.
Right.
So, but it is possible. I would say it is possible, because in our, let's get back to that same 132 years history. Many a times this club has faced financial crisis. There have been fans who have sold their entire property to help out the club, because this club has fans who comes to the ground just after cremating their parents or their child. This club has the core value. Look, this is not the fans that I can get out of any business prerogative. If I can give them free tickets or free jerseys or free biryani packets, this is unlike whatever that Mr. Goenka or Mr. Parekh has experienced over the 6 years that they have done with ATK. We Mohun Bagan fans are unlike that. The core clash started. Look, our legacy officials never tried to demean the fans, ever. Whenever, including the current board members, whenever they talk to us, they respect us, they respect our views. But this time, what I can see from Kolkata Games and Sport Private Limited management, they always try to demean us, they always try to undermine us. It's like they're the supreme leaders of a certain entity and we are the blind followers. So it's not like that. We are not uneducated. We know the political aspect, we know the financial aspects of the sporting arena. That's why I am saying it is absolutely possible to crowdfund, but there is a question whether the crowdfunded will be linked with the membership, because there is a certain regulation from the army, as we are actually holding the army ground for our own tent. So there is a regulation for the memberships that the army provides us from time to time.
Right.
So beyond that limit, we cannot go. So if that particular contribution from the friends or crowdfunding is linked with the membership, then we have to think it in a way that we can possibly go about. Otherwise, if we come out of a suggestion like it's a one-time investment or it's a one-time contribution to the club, it's a simple donation, then it is possible. I think it's possible. And many of the people will agree with me. Kindly share your views in the comment section as well.
Absolutely, but what are most of comments that I'm getting, or most of the chatter that I hear around, that there's been insult to the club, which I even cannot take as a Mohun Bagan fan, as being born and brought up in the legacy of this club. But then again, if you talk financials, if you talk about progress of the club, we see what mess East Bengal is in right now. And I'm not demeaning East Bengal fans over here. They know why the mess is being created. Some are partially blamed for that mess. I'm not taking names at all. Would Mohun Bagan respond on that? Understand this very clearly. You said that it is possible, but in an era where there are so many fans, but only a facade of social media, let's say entrepreneurs, if I put that word correctly, will they come forward, or is this just hype? It's just negative building hype over some unspoken agenda. Like, but I'm talking just facts here, without going into any controversy. Is this the case?
Look, there might be a hidden agenda for anybody. So I don't know. I personally feel demeaned after Mr. Parekh's comment, because look, I was a personality who didn't go into any kind of protest until now, because I personally believe that this amalgamation of Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited with Mohun Bagan is going to help us. Is going to help us how? We are going to build a better team. We will be more corporatized in footballing arena, and we will be developing our infrastructures, which will help us in the coming days of spreading the sport, spreading the quality of sports into the entire Indian sporting scene. Right. So I thought these are the things that ATK is giving us in a platter, and we should take it up. So that is the reason. And for me, till date, Neil, I do not support that particular remove three phase. Because suppose this Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited decides to remove ATK and tomorrow they takes out a different color home kit. Will I be happy? No. So that's not the solution actually. So they need to understand with which club they have made themselves associated. They need to understand that. We are ready to respect the legalities over this contract. But I think they are not ready to respect us.
Respecting, keeping up their own.
Because, yeah, absolutely. Because this particular loyalty factor which Mohun Bagan and East Bengal fans have, which compels them to spend a lifetime supporting our own club, this is our USP. And this particular Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited management is trying to destroy it, which is the USP.
Okay, Jeepak Das says in the comment section, he says that I see East Bengal's situation after they lost their principal sponsor. I wasn't around for 100 of that 132-year history. In the last 32, I haven't seen the club be on a strong financial footing like this. And especially in a market where, not in any market, I'm talking about every era, finance is a very strong point. We've heard about Spondanda saying that it is indeed possible to uphold the crowdfunding situation, probably hypothetically, mathematically, we'll never know until we are in the mud on the ground working towards the same goal. But essentially, Spondanda, very honestly, do you want the club to get out of a financial backing just because some XY, maybe not just some XYZ, that is a proper noun XYZ, is making comments of this sort? Like, where does the weigh scale balance on the judgment?
Look, it's not about what I want. It's about the entire more than 1 million strong fan base wants. Because time and again, particular this amalgamated management has given us reasons to not believe them at all.
Right.
Because they have taken a strategy of first give us an opportunity to criticize them, and then they go and retract and apologize. And it has happened time and again. I'm telling you. They were the ones who put 3 stars and defending champions. Then when there was a backlash, they went out and omitted that. They were the ones who, as a corporate structure, what I would expect there is a certain coordination with the fans. As a corporate structure, I would expect that there is some sane-minded people who knows how to handle media. They comes as a spokesperson. As a corporate entity, I would expect this club to launch any of their kits officially, rather than in an impromptu basis playing the team on a third kit, which wasn't launched officially into the market. So there were too many times this corporate entity just telling them that we are corporate, but they are not showing any signs of becoming a corporate entity.
True, but the insult,
I agree.
An insult, right? Whomever insults it, XYZ, we will not actually stand back and say, suppose someone comes, we call it Mohun Bagan, right? So if someone comes over here, insults our family, insults our parents, insults our mother of all, we won't stand back, won't we?
For us, Mohun Bagan is like my family. It's like my parents. It's a motherly institution for me. I hold it dear close to my heart. So insulting it means insulting my family, insulting my kins. Even insulting my identity. Because Mohun Baganis, or even the East Bengal fans, I would say, for this for the discussion time, we support it throughout our lifetime, and we pass on the baton to our next generations. We are a generation-wise supporter base.
This is a culture more than a sport.
It's a culture. It's my entity. It's my identity. It's my way of life. That's the thing this management should understand. Look, who has created this situation that the entire Mohun Bagan fan base fraternity is wanting demerge or remove ATK or something like that? Who is responsible for that? We aren't, because we wholeheartedly welcomed them when they came. Initially, there was no backlash. Time and again, they have created one after one, they have created problems. They have insulted our institutions, and that has created this backlash. We are reacting. We are not acting till now. They are the ones who are acting, and acting insanely, I would say.
That is cause for concern. Absolutely, that is cause for concern. Jibakda says in the comments, meanwhile, he says that I'm sorry that crowdfunding idea is a fantasy. If that was feasible, East Bengal would have been one of the richest clubs in the country. There are illiterate people among the management. Remove them and move on. Is it that easy for any club?
Look,
Not just
for
Mohun Bagan or
any
East Bengal.
crowdfunding purpose, look, I appreciate your concern, and I wholeheartedly agree to some extent. But there is a certain reason. Whenever you do crowdfunding, you have to be an open book. You have to let the people who are funding you share your accounts statements with them regularly, share your tactical interventions with them regularly, and your roadmap with them regularly, which I think most of the club officials don't want.
Right.
So that is the reason it looks like a fantasy. If you are open enough, if you are transparent enough about your intentions, about how would you like to run this club, about how would you like to prepare this team for playing into the highest levels of sporting activities, and if you are open about your accounts statements, why there should be a problem?
It's easy to say that, but it's very difficult to assume that any club of what you mentioned, just any club, but any organization, a multi-million-dollar organization would have even trouble of spreading their accounts. Oh, all right. Let's pack this up. Okay, Ayush has made an interesting comment. He says, if the merger breaks, it's a loss for both. Do you agree with the statement?
Absolutely. Initially, it's a loss for us because we have to invest heavily. We have to look right now. If the merger breaks from our side, we have to pay the penalty for breaking the merger, which is about 120% of the 120 or 125% of the cost of the merger.
Right.
And we have to pay for our own licensing again. We have to make a new team, which looks not very promising at this moment for this season, I would say. So, yeah, it's a heavily burdened financial crisis for us right now. But I think from the new season onwards, there will be, if we are able to convince FSDL to bring a separate slot for us, I think it won't be a very difficult thing for bring about a new investor into who wants to associate themselves with Mohun Bagan.
Exactly, because we've seen the likes of Sevilla, we see the likes of Borussia Dortmund, recently Watford coming up and partnering up with Odisha FC as well. So there are a lot of clubs.
Even today, Fly Emirates have came into ISL.
Yes.
Even today.
Yes. So the sponsors are indeed coming in. So that is a valid point. Maybe a new investor could be, but I think the crux of the matter is that I think we would have to wait it out until 2023-24 season, when there is promotion and relegation, where probably the licensing structure changes and everything changes, hopefully for the better.
Absolutely.
Spandana, thank you so much for joining in. It was a very passionate podcast session. We talked our hearts out, and I just want to make it clear that I speak for Spandana when I say this, that we just want the betterment of Mohun Bagan, because we have known that since opening our eyes into the world. We have lived through that, we are living through that, and that is, as he rightfully pointed out, is a mean of life for us. It is life for us, and it is more than just a sport, more than just a football club. It is a part and parcel of our daily life. It's equal to living and breathing.
I would just like to conclude by saying, and that this is my request or a statement for the Kolkata Games and Sports Private Limited management. We Mohun Bagan fans are not the entertainment frenzy fans that you got over the last 6 years in ATK. I'm not saying that there is no diehard ATK fans. There might be, but we, 99.9% of the Mohun Bagan fans holds Mohun Bagan club into their heart. You need to understand that when you speak to us. You need to understand that and respect us. You need to uphold our respect, and we will respect you. There is no second way. Give respect to get respect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Spandanda. We'll see you very soon. Let's hope that this problem has a solution either way. Spandanda, thank you for your time. We'll meet you very, very soon. Let's hope that this gets solved out. Bye bye for now.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, that was Spandanda with his evident and emotional feelings, if I'd say. Ayush, as a comment, says that they're just helping in with respect to the merger, with respect to the investors. He said Watford, Sevilla, he's saying that they are not investors. They are absolutely not investors. They are just developing the grassroots. Ayush, I'd like to state this, that if they can be coming, their investors would be liking to invest in the entity or in the enterprise as well. There has been a lot going on with this respect, with the social media antiques that have been going on. So let's hope that this gets solved, because I, for one, as a journalist, as a sports lover, and as a fan of Mohun Bagan Football Club, want to focus on just the footballing side. Let me get that clear and nothing else. With that, I think I'll conclude this discussion on a high. We'll meet you very soon. Tomorrow, it's another new episode. Let's see what we plan about on Wednesday. The Premier League is coming back. Cristiano Ronaldo is also coming back to the Premier League, and we'll be absolutely thrilled to watch it live and sing Viva Ronaldo. With that, we'll end this session maybe on a happier note than we started it, and with the hope and with the expectation that we can actually solve this. See you tomorrow, same place, same time. Also, if you've not subscribed to the channel already, do hit the subscribe button, to like and share. If you want to donate to the channel, you can do so in the numbers above. Would mean a lot to me. With that, this is your host Neil for Netflix Football. Let's meet you same place, same time, and you know where the show is. It's Neil for Netflix Football, wishing you a very good night. Bye bye for now.